So there's a moment at a jazz game where an interaction between Chris and John goes south.
The last time we seen John was at the jazz game. When I walk up and he just sits and he goes, "Get the away from me."
John said, "Stay the away from me, you piece of shit." Like, if he's gonna quote him, he should quote him right.
Chris went up to him to say something like, "Hey," like trying to mend, and John was like,
he's like, I had it.
Off. Yeah, you yelled at my wife, you came after my wife.
And John's like the kindest, most soft-spoken, sweet guy, but his family's his number one.
To clarify, was this the same game as the alleged jazz ticket rumor?
When we were walking off and taking a selfie, and she goes, "That's who Lisa sleeps with for the jazz tickets."
Wait, what? Well, guess what? I didn't hear that nugget.
Yeah, it was a different game. So the game with Angie and Heather was New Year's Eve. We were invited by Chris's work. Angie and Heather were so intoxicated when I walked in. Chris was actually getting mad at Angie H for her behavior in the club. I just want to say that because I wasn't drinking like they were, but that's neither here or there.
Well, and isn't it interesting that she told Heather that she would never gossip or about someone in a business setting because the suite was her husband's business setting?
I would have never said that. I'm very guarded on what I say and do, especially in that setting. That's a business environment.
But yet she was not only gossiping, but she was wasted. So regardless, the whole unprofessional thing in the business suites is out the window.
When I walked in, I saw Heather's tits.
Well, they're, you know,
yeah,
I mean,
they were like pulling their shirts down.
No.
Yeah. That doesn't matter. They were having a good time. It was New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
But Angie said what she said at that jazz game. She told us that John, Barlow, and Lisa have those tickets because Lisa sleeps with. The next week or second week after that, I got a call from Angie informing me that Chris got into it with John.
The last time we seen John was at the jazz game. When I walk up and he just sits and he goes, "Get the away from me." And I'm like, "John, are you serious?" He goes, "Yeah."
I'm glad John did that because we're not fake. Why would you think it's okay to even approach my husband after you lied about us? I was her friend. She had sent me all these text messages. "I love you. I'll have your back always. I'll be a great girlfriend to you." Day one, week one of filming, she's not being that nice about me and made up some lie.
We've been asked to host events at the restaurant by Lisa's assistant. So that's the direction we need to go in. I'm so sorry to do this to you, but we can't do your event.
And then by the time I show up at her house 7 days later, I'm thinking I'm gonna have the best time with my friend and I love her. And then she accuses me of sabotaging an event for a community I love and have supported for years.
Because Chris, this is hurtful.
Oh no, but we're trying to close it.
Hurtful.
When I would never do something like that. So it's why would you even think it's okay to come up and talk to my husband and my son? We're not friends. You continue to do derogatory, negative things about us and to basically denigrate our character.
Lisa, rumors about your marriage come up this season.
Angie told us that John, Barlow, and Lisa have those tickets because Lisa sleeps with.
How does your family cope with these rumors?
So with me and John thought they were so ridiculous. He's friends with the person they made the accusations with, and we both had to call him actually and just say, "Hey, these rumors were told and we're embarrassed to even have to tell you that they're circulating." He started laughing. He was upset at first because he's like, "I'm a very private person. I don't want my name out there in this capacity." But then he understood, he's like, "I'm sorry that happened to you." And he made a few jokes, to lighten it up a little bit. John feels so protective of me. And I just think he was like, "Hey, I'm here for you, and I'm sorry you had to go through that." Jack's in high school, Henry's in elementary school, and just with social media and the way kids are today, we had to sit our children down and explain to them hey, these things were said about me. And, John, explained things very clearly to the boys that our family's solid, we love each other, and it's not true. And, and Henry was like, "That's just ridiculous." And, I think it wasn't Henry asked a few questions about what if his friends at school say something to him about it? And I'm like, you just have to say it's a lie. And if they want their parents to call mommy and daddy, they can. And, you know, and Jack's old enough to know, he's like, Mom, that's like insane. But like, I'm sorry that happened to you. But it's still like not awesome. They're still going to be front row at the Jazz and no favors were given.
We've seen such a growth in your friendship. Can you tell me a little bit about what you think got you to that point?
Do you want to go there?
I think you should. I mean, everyone's used to me schmoozing. You say some nice things about me for once.
Oh, I love it. No, you know what's interesting? Heather and I, we have known each other for what, 7 years now?
Yeah,
something
long
like
time.
that, approximately, give or take. We didn't know each other all that well going into this process. We were more like Sundance friends.
Yes, I always had to remind her my name, but it was fun.
Oh,
I
stop
didn't
it.
mind. I'm just kidding.
We were friendly.
Yeah, we'd see each other twice a year. We'd always do Sundance together, and it was always fun and intense and great.
Right. And then like we came into this whole sitch. You know, I originally met Heather through Lisa. She introduced us. Yeah. And both Lisa and I both had suggested Heather to come on the show. And then something transpired between Heather and Lisa.
I used to hear stories. I think she was like the one that was like, honor code what?
How can you say, all I know of Heather is that she was the good time girl that flashed her boobs.
Which I still to this day don't fully understand. But that's besides the point. So they did not get along.
2 thumbs up is the FU, and that's a universal text code.
Don't diminish the thumbs up text.
And to me, out of respect for my friend, I just kept a little room there. I knew it's what Lisa wanted. So
yeah, I absolutely
that was
agree. I did the same. You know, I didn't like go up to her to hug her and be like, carry me like a baby, Meredith. You know, like I respect, I mean, I can read the room. I know what time it is. Like Lisa's parading Meredith around and like, I'm not gonna weasel in.
They
It's kind
had
of like a quiet understanding, like, don't mess with the crazy, could go any direction. You know, let sleeping dogs lie. And it's so now because there's been so much, you know, shift in dynamics with her and Lisa.
Hate her, she's a whore, she's half of New York.
Just allows her more freedom and latitude to hang out with me.
I do have to ask, there is this new phrase now, litany, with Lisa and Whitney going around. So what is the duo name that you guys have?
Meredither. I feel like it just flows right off the tongue.
Wait, what was the one I said? I thought was funny.
Mayweather? Was it Mayweather? No. Heather Death? Heather Death? Heather Death is not what I like. She prefers that one. I mean, it's not litany, but I think we all know litany isn't going to last. What is that? I mean, how is Lisa agreeing to be litany?
Well, but you also have to remember Lisa also agreed to, what was the one with her and Jen too?
Janisa.
Janisa.
That one torpedoed too.
Janisa. I mean, Lisa likes that stuff.
I mean, the one name that stuck was bad weather, but now sunny skies, no more bad weather. So she torpedoed her own name.
You're joining the ice storm, honey.
Oh, I can't believe
bad weather in the ice storm.
Are the cameras rolling? Is that recorded?
This season, we were able to see your talents fully on display. We got to see you on the slopes. We got to see you singing.
Away in a manger, no crib for his bed.
Yeah. We got to see you rollerblading.
You got this! You look like you're dancing over there.
Is there anything you can't do?
Cook.
I think we've sat at the dinner table 10 times in our whole life.
But I don't really try, so maybe I can. I make a mean hot dog.
You don't want me to make you anything?
I'm not really craving a microwave hot dog right now, so I'm good.
I am like an expert on the raclette grill.
You know what I really want to learn how to make is eggs.
Yeah.
I'll try. That thing saved my life. Like, that's easy. Go get some Wagyu beef from the butcher and like put it on the grill. 10 minutes later, your kids are eating Wagyu beef. It's like amazing. I don't even cook for them on that. They cook for themselves on that. And like, I love roller skating. I literally like watch all of Usher's videos. Like, he is amazing. I lived in the 80s. I lived in the roller rink doing my side spins, my leg crossovers, backwards. I was a little out of practice, but I think I could be good again. And I've always liked to sing. My sister and I can like harmonize almost perfectly because she has perfect pitch, and I grew up singing. The stars in the heaven look down where he lay.
So is there any chance that you might be the next Bravolebrity to release a single?
Maybe.
Pop star Lisa, I'm ready for it.
I'd have to start training again, but I think I could.
So people have gotten to know you a little bit over the first 2 seasons that you were on the show, but I want to ask, who is Angie Harrington in your own words?
Angie Harrington is a little weird, little bit of a paranormal freak. I have always been obsessed with the paranormal. So I used to watch Unsolved Mysteries and just like be fascinated that these things were happening to people. And so that kind of introduced me to the paranormal world. And then my sister has had a lot of paranormal experiences that she would tell me about growing up. And I just kind of always was taken by it. I don't know if like in a former life I was a Palladian or a spirit, or I'm sure I was a spirit, but I've got a little bit of a dark side to me. And I was just invited to Skinwalker Ranch by the owners. That's the biggest paranormal, scientifically studied paranormal site in the world. And it was fascinating. I was like begging to be probed. I mean, that sounds inappropriate, but I was like laying there, I was like, I don't care, alien, do whatever you got to do to me to prove to me. And like nothing happened to me. But of course, my husband had a very interesting experience.
And so is he a believer now, would you say?
He is. He was not, which is interesting because growing up, it's kind of weird, but his mother was like a witch and was she would cast a lot of spells and then became a Satanist. So he has a very strange childhood. And he always just kind of thought it was all hoo-hoo, wooey-wooey. But until that moment, now he's like, okay, maybe your sister wasn't lying about all her experiences. So one other thing, Angie Harrington is a mother before anything else. I am like up to my ears in toddlers, teenagers. I mean, my morning starts at 6 a.m. with the baby and midnight with the teenagers. It's exhausting, but I wouldn't have it any other way.